Hey sis, so it's just easier for me to make a video because it's like so hard to explain. Because for me, homeschooling is not straight and narrow. It's certain things I've done for both my kids, but the learning style of the child truly should dictate how or what you use for them to learn. So I would say start with your goal. And so the goal I would recommend, at least one of the goals that you have, is that she do well on the ACT, which I know you already do, but I'm just saying this really and truly sort of dictates what they learn, because what they learn in school is not necessarily really that important, other than reading, writing, and arithmetic. So I'm saying all that to say that I typically just find whatever I can help them learn, those in the best way possible where they master. And then everything else is like, you know, I just piecemeal stuff together. So for math, no question, teaching textbooks. Now, you might be good at math, but for me, I'm not good at math. So teaching textbooks. And so this is one of those things that just like it's hard to explain just to write it. So I can't teach my children math beyond K through 8. And so I have to find ways to make sure that they master it. So you could always supplement something with a Khan Academy. You can go to a teacher, like the places where teachers go and buy supplies, and buy a Spectrum math book. So if she is taking, say, for instance, algebra, and you're like, does she really know this? You can always go get a Spectrum book. They have them specifically for algebra, and have her work problems in that book to see, did she really learn it? Khan Academy, a lot of times if Kamau doesn't catch something, or even with Kalfani, I would put them on Khan Academy to see if that explanation helped them. And let's see here, what else? Oh, and then the other thing I would recommend buying is going to Pearson Homeschool. That's Pearson, Pearson Homeschool. And there's the lab. I think it's under honors, if you look under the honors tab. And buy that lab for her and make her take the, or have her take the, it's like an assessment. The first thing they do when they get in this lab is they take the assessment. And then it can tell what she knows and what she doesn't know regarding language, to include reading and writing, as well as the math. And then it builds a learning path. Because for me, I'm not a super strict homeschooler. I'm just really, I do a good job of creating game plans. I'm very strategic. And so I have to make sure that there are no holes. That's the main thing I work on. And so that Pearson lab will help you to find any holes that are there, in particular in math. To me, that's exceedingly important. If she's really good at math, there may not be many holes there. But if there are holes, it will find it. It will find the holes. And so I have come out doing both teaching textbooks and that Pearson. I do it's like reading, writing, and math. I forgot what it's called, but foundational lab or something, I don't know. And let me see here. If she's good at reading, she may not really what they do in that is just to, I don't know, it just makes them better. Being the best at reading, oh my God, I cannot overstate the importance of that for the ACT. Kalfani took the ACT for the first time at the end of his 10th grade year. And that's when I figured out we don't need to be doing all this extra studying. I mean, the only thing that my kids really need to know is math, reading, and writing. Because the science, they read a passage and answer from that passage. So they don't need to know any science knowledge going into that. And so with science, with Calfani, okay, so I saw a post by Sochi the other day where she was saying she hates biology. And I swear for Jesus, I understand that. So I'm not going to lie. I have a textbook. That's something you can do. You can buy textbooks online. I would buy used textbooks as much as you can. I'm not really good at buying textbooks. I have a friend that I used to work with in homeschooling, and she would sell me all her textbooks. That biology textbook at Pearson is exhausting. Oh my God, I hate that book. I hate it because it's actually just so much information. So what I did was, this is how I typically will choose how we're going to learn something like a social studies or history, whatever, and a science. I will go through and I will look to see what do they need to know, basic, bare minimum. And then I will find a way for them to learn it. So I might start with, and I know this probably sounds like crazy, but this is what I do, and this is why I couldn't just tell you, because I use whatever I need to use with the least pain as possible, because this stuff is effing boring. It is some of the most boring stuff, even though I know it exposes them. And that's why my thing is, you don't need to know a whole lot of this stuff. I'm not going to be doing a whole bunch of testing on math and history, government, all that bull crap. I just want them to be exposed. And it worked. Calfani got into a highly competitive college. Calfani is now an engineering major. Basically, I mean, I don't know. His first semester, 3.6 at the Coast Guard Academy. That's incredible. They say that's the hardest semester. Now, he just switched his major, so we'll see how he does. But so far, so good. He's making A's in these science classes. And I'm just saying all that not to brag, but to say I really do think I know. I think I figured it out. So what I did with Kamau, basically the same thing I did with Calfani. I'm just like, okay, let me look and see what do the chapters cover in the biology textbook, and then I go to Khan Academy and I have them take those lessons. The other thing that I'll say is very good on YouTube is Crash Course. They have Crash Course History, Crash Course Biology, Chemistry. And so I will have him watch Khan Academy videos. Like right now, he's on evolution. So I look through the textbook, okay, evolution, Khan Academy, and then I found a video that matches from Crash Course. And in Khan Academy, there's these little quizzes. There's even a chapter test. I'll have them do those, not really for a grade, but just to make them go back over the information. With the physics and the chemistry, I did get a little more serious with Calfani. I didn't really do a biology lab. I just did not want to do the lab. I didn't. But I found videos that showed these labs. I know this sounds petty, but it worked. Plus, Calfani hates biology. So it was just like a waste of time trying to make all this happen. So basically, this is what I did for Calfani too. I will say for chemistry and for physics, I actually went out, well, not went out, but ordered online lab materials. And Kamau has to take chemistry next year. And then he'll take physics his last year. So I'll save everything. If you're still homeschooling her, I'll just give it to you. If you're still homeschooling for chemistry and physics, I have a lot of lab stuff. You might have to order chemicals or stuff like that. And then there's this chemistry lab, homeschool, high school chemistry. And I'll try to find the link and give it to you. But this lady's course is just basically it prepares them for the lab, teaches them the basics, all that kind of good stuff. But she's going to be a freshman. I'm not going to go too deep. But for something like, a biology, a high school biology, I just would get an old textbook, go through the chapters, have her sort of read, do field trips, whatever. I mean, it's really better hands-on because it's boring as hell. The history, again, I have textbooks. Government and economics we did in a group. Oh, time for learning. Time and then the number 4 learning.com. That's a good one for making sure that you're kind of like hitting everything that you need to hit. So that's a good one. And you can do that for high school, and you can sort of switch out which courses you want. And yeah, so time for learning is something I highly recommend. I've used it. I'm not using it now, but I probably will go back to time for learning next year. And let me see here. But on time for learning, you can get the government, you can get the economics, American history, all that. And they even have tests on there. And you can supplement however you want to. So for instance, girl, my kids be watching Black history videos or African history, whatever. And I will say I sort of like the history on Khan Academy because I trust that they're not whitewashing it. They kind of give the truth. When I listen to the lessons or when I ask Kamau, what did you learn? So I'm not really big into testing or anything like that. When I say testing, I mean giving tests. A lot of these online programs will give quizzes and tests and different things like that, and I do those with him, especially 9th and 10th grade years. But 11th and 12th, yeah, let's go ahead and practice taking tests. And I mean, so she already knows how to do this. My kids, they never went to school, so she already knows what it's like to take tests. Writing papers, I didn't really do a whole lot of writing papers with Kalfani until he got a little bit older. He has a natural knack for it. I will have to keep you posted on Kamau. But there is, through time for learning, there is like Spelling City, which I think even high school kids could benefit from. And time for writing. That's probably what I'm going to use for Kamau for writing. That's not his forte. So I just have some other things I have to do with him for writing before we really get deep into writing papers. But you can have a write as much or as little as you want. And you can almost outsource everything. There is a website like Rainbow Resources. And if you go and look there, just about every curriculum that's out there for purchase is on that site. It's a whole bunch of Christian bullcrap, but they have secular and Christian on there. And I like telling people to go there. I don't know if they still have a catalog. If they still have a catalog, order the catalog. And you can find it. The catalog is like that thick, full of curricula. So you can go through there and peruse it. But I just find that really the best way to learn is how we adults learn. We just find a way to learn it. And, most of the time, if you're interested in it, you're going to learn it. If you're not interested in it, you learn it for as long as you need to, and then you totally forget it. It's a catch-22 when you're doing schooling with the kids. But I just find less is more, and that reading, writing, and arithmetic is the only thing that matters for that ACT. I don't know about SAT, but for ACT, Kalfani, with me using this methodology, the first time Kalfani took the ACT, he got like a 28 or a 29. I will say he got a 24 and a 24 in, what was that? English and I don't know what the other one was. I know he got like almost a perfect score in reading, and he, because that's one of the sections, reading, and he got oh, in science he got like a 30, 31 or something like that. And so it was writing and math, he got a 24, which is incredible for, I mean, like the average ACT score, at least in Tennessee, is like 19. So that was him just, I did have him study a little bit for it, but that was Calfani's first ACT score. And then once we realized what he needed to know, I threw everything else out the door and hyper focused on math even more. And now I did eventually get him a tutor at some point, but hyper focused on math. And then he knew he needed to do better on that, on his English. So he started learning more English skills. And he did the Pearson. That Pearson helped him a lot. Especially with the writing. My friend had them doing writing. There's different things you can buy to like teach the grammar, because they have to know grammar. That's the writing part. No, not, I'm saying writing is English. English he got a 24. Math he got a 24. So you had to really bone up on the English, like understanding. I don't know. He had to study for the English part. So that's what I say focus on, because that's what the ACT is all about. And if they know how to read and they know how to do math. So I'll give you one last thing. When Calfani decided he wanted to go to the Coast Guard Academy. It was December of his junior year. So this is the type of school where you need to probably have taken calculus before you go. At the very least, you need to be taking pre-calculus. I don't know if Calfani had taken the ACT again the second time at this point, but I don't think he had. But he knew he needed to get his scores to be competitive, though the Coast Guard Academy, they will take the high 20s if you're very athletic and very involved, in your community and stuff like that. But he knew he needed to be exceedingly competitive to get in. So we had to fast track him through math. I had to get a tutor, and I'm still freaking paying for this tutor. This man is out in California. He's a teacher. And basically, Calfani got Algebra 2 in a semester. Then he went to MTSU and took pre-calculus. And then the last semester of high school, he took calculus. And he knew he needed to bone up on that writing. So he just started doing everything he needed to do to be able to pass that test. So when you sign them up for the ACT, they offer, what is that? What is the name of this? Some company, you know the name if I were to tell you, that does all this tutoring for the ACT. They've done it for years. And so they have this online thing that you can sign the student up for. And he just took all the English courses. Everything he could do to learn more about English, that's what he did. And I think he got his English score up. I want to say he got his English and his math score up to like 31, 32. I mean, just really incredible. 24 to 31, 32, something like that. His super score was like a 33. They super score, which means if you send them all your ACT scores, they're going to take the highest score for that category, from each particular test and just mash it together. So, but he went from a 24 to a 31. That's a 32, something like that, in math and English. And so they can learn whatever they need to learn just like that when it's crunch time. And he's doing just fine at the academy. I mean, he's doing as well as all the kids that probably paid tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to private school. So hope this helps, sister. If you have any other questions, let me know. Also, use her interest to help her to learn. So if you want her to write about something, have her write about things that she's interested in. you know, Kafani wrote one research paper. He was like, I just need to write a research paper so when I go to college, I'll know how to do it. Okay, do it. He took psychology at MTSU too and had to write quite a bit for that. You know, I did my best to make sure he did academic writing. But, you know, in high school, homeschool, you can do just about whatever to help them learn, to include using their own interest. Help her, like if she is into vlogging or dancing or, I don't know, working with her hands. I don't, what's her ascendant sign? Do you know so she's ascendant sign? I know she's a Virgo. So, you know, Virgos, they are very, very smart. Maybe she's sciencey, you know, just she can learn almost any subject. The only one I don't play around with is math. She can learn just about any subject through her interest. So, all right, girl. Hope this helps. Talk to you. Peace.